Oh, you want me to be on the video or it's okay? Just voice is okay.
You want to show your face?
I want to show my face. My hair is.
I'm not gonna show it. I just need to see your facial expressions.
Everything is being recorded. Okay. Why are you laughing? Because of my hair, right?
No. Okay. Do you want to see the questions first, or do you just want to like start and see how it goes?
Start, let's see.
Okay. First thing I'm gonna do is ask for consent. So I'm gonna start the recording. Okay, before we begin, I need to get your consent to participate in this interview. You're being asked to take part in an oral history research study conducted by me, Alexandra H. Pong, relationship to the interviewee is daughter, for a class project in the anthropology course Inheritance, Time, Money, and Racial Afterlives under the supervision of Professor Morris at University of Western Ontario. According to the Oral History Association, oral history is a method of gathering and preserving historical information through recorded interviews, and the goal is to better understand experiences and stories related to inheritance. The interview will take no longer than approximately 1 to 1.5 hours, and during the interview, you'll be asked some general questions about your background, your experiences related to different forms of inheritance, and specifically related to your family from Ghanaian perspectives, teaching on material cloths and the transmission of occupations specifically. Our conversation will be audio recorded, and the audio recording and transcript of our interview will be accessible to me and my supervisor, Professor Morris, and they will not be shared publicly. The interview will be used for my class project, which includes a creative project and an essay. You have the choice whether to use your real name or keep you anonymous. If you agree to use your real name, I may reference your name in the class project, but if you choose to remain anonymous, I'll use a fake name or general descriptions rather than your real name. So, do you prefer if I use your real name or would you like to remain anonymous?
Use my real name, Abena.
Avina? Okay. Thank you. Just to confirm, you said that I should use your real name, Avina. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Additionally, the risks associated with this interview are minimal. Your participation is voluntary. You may decline to answer any question, stop the interview at any time, or request confidentiality at any point. If you have any questions about this project, you can contact Professor Morris, and I'll give you her contact information, JMORR337 at uwo.ca. Regardless, do you give consent to participate in this oral history interview?
Yeah. Consent given.
Okay, thank you. For the record, can you please state your name once more?
My name is Abena.
Okay. Um, so my name is Alexandra. The date is February 27th, and we will be proceeding with this interview. Okay. So my first question for you that I'd like to ask is maybe a little bit more information about your background, when and where you were born specifically.
I was born in Ghana. Um, I was in Ghana until I finished my diploma when I was 22 years old. Then I moved to Canada. So basically, uh, I spent most of my youth age in Ghana before coming to Canada.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit of more about like your family and the family that you're born into?
Yeah, I was born into a family with six siblings. My my father was a teacher, principal at a secondary school, and my mom also was a teacher at elementary school. We are six siblings, four boys and two girls. I was the fifth born, and we were all born in Ghana in a village called different cities because both parents were always transferred to different city due to the nature of the job. In Ghana, if you're a teacher, they can transfer you to different towns, different cities. So we were born in different cities. So that's basic background of my family.
Okay, so you guys traveled a lot in terms of like relocating pretty often.
Yeah, we were traveling a lot for relocation because of the nature of the job of my parents.
How was that experience like not being in one like location for that long and always having to somewhat relocate to different places?
Okay, so as I said, I am the fifth born, so last but one. But my other siblings, I wouldn't say much about them because I don't know how much it affect them. But for myself, um, I can say that we were relocated about three different schools before I moved to Canada. So every location, there's a different experience. You meet different kind of people, different environment that you have to adapt yourself into. And then it wasn't too bad because it's the same country, the same climate, and everything stay the same. The only difference is the people and then the environment that your new environment and the new people that you're going to meet. But it's pretty easy for me to adapt to because there wasn't any differences in culture, right? Like moving from maybe different country to other country, then it may be much different. But since it's the same country, we speak the same language, nothing different. So it's easy to adapt to the environment. So
Mm,
I didn't have much. I didn't find it difficult to adapt to the new environment because there isn't any much difference.
I see. And so like during your schooling or maybe like when you're involved in the community through like things like church, did you find it easy to adapt given that like language and I guess proximity to other places you lived were pretty similar?
Yeah, as I said, the language is the same language. We speak Tree or English, and most everybody understand both. Everybody understand Tree. Majority of Ghanaians speak Tree or English. So language for the language aspect, it's not a big deal. But the only problem is how to adapt to the people and then the environment. Obviously, it will take time before you'll be able to, mingle yourself with them. But it wasn't too much like travel from different country to other country. So it takes like a couple of months to be able to adjust yourself. So I didn't have much problem with that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting that like you relocated, but like you didn't have much issues adapting to different like cities and I guess they're all very similar in those ways. Do you think like that idea of your family being the ones that relocated, like did you grow a strong relationship with your siblings given that like in the beginning that's all you know? Or is it like you were very quick to like, make friends and just become a part of like whatever city you just were introduced into?
Yeah, for the civil aspect, for the four of my siblings, they were grown up, right? Because my brother and the one before me, we are 9 years apart. So for the other four siblings, they were grown up.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't have much like we were not close because of the
Yeah.
age gap. So nine years apart for me and my other brother, and then the other three older siblings. So the difference were the age gap were too much. So I wasn't much. I mean, like we were not close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have much things in common. But although we are siblings, we live in the same place, the same house, but the age gap doesn't make me feel like going to them much. So it's like yeah, you're siblings, but you don't have much things to do with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to have friends to pray with, to communicate with
Mm.
more than my own siblings because of the age age gap.
Okay. I see. So I think that kind of introduces me to another dynamic. So like basically your family dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering like what kind of values were emphasized in your household?
Okay, so my family dynamic, I was born into a Christian family. My mom was a Christian, but my dad wasn't a Christian. My dad was in Ghana we call it we have different types of religion,
Yeah.
Christian, Muslim, and traditional. So my mom was a Christian and my dad was a traditional man. So I was much closer with my mom. So my mom introduced me to church,
Hmm.
and through that I became a Christian. By my dad aspect in Ghana, we have when somebody is a traditionalist, their belief is totally different. They believe in things like they call it gods. It's not like God Almighty that we worship. It's gods. Like do you understand what I mean?
Like plural gods.
Yes. So that is their belief. So those people believe in things like reincarnation.
Mm,
Those people believe in things like here what do you call it? Like oh what is the word you use?
astrology.
Astrology. They believe in astrology. Psychic. Yeah, that's the
Oh.
uh-huh. So that is their belief. So like they have some days like some days they say these days you don't have to do things like farming because if you do those things the gods will not permit you to do that. There are certain days every every 4 weeks of Sunday, fourth of Sunday in every month. If you're traditionalist, they have to pour libation. You know, libation, they put some kind of wine and
Mhm.
then they pour it on the ground. It's a form of prayers to them. So they do such things because they believe there is a God, but not a God that is God Almighty, but that is their belief. Although they believe in God, but they also believe in those astrology things. So that is how our traditional system of worship works in Ghana. But in Ghana, we have different types of tribes. So it depends upon the tribe that you were born into. We have different types of tribes in Ghana, and then all the tribes have their own beliefs that they believe in their gods. So basically, that's what I was brought up. But I didn't follow much about my dad's side because of my mom introduced me into the Christianity, and which make it easier for me. So my dad, I know he was doing it. Sometimes I see him doing it, but I didn't. I didn't have much interest in that. So basically, that is how the system of worship works in Ghana. Every different kinds of tribes. We have a lot of tribes, but each tribe have their own belief about the traditional worship. Yeah.
So what tribe were like you guys from, and then your dad specifically, then how he worshipped his gods?
Okay. My dad's side, from his hometown. He was born in Eastern region. In Ghana, we have about 12 regions, right? So my dad was born in Eastern region, and my mother too was from Eastern region, but different towns.
Feel free to say the names of the towns.
Mm?
Feel free to say like the names of the towns.
Okay, the names, I don't think you guys will be ready to. Okay, my dad was born in Eastern region. The town is called Abompe, and he was a chief in that town. So, for Abompe, the chieftaincy, it comprises a lot of a group of people that they are serving the chief over the town.
Mhm.
So the chief, when we come to the chief in chieftaincy in Ghana, it's like a mayor in a town. So the chieftaincy, you and your people are taking care of the town, the development of the town, any gatherings or everything is under the control of the chief, and the chief is appointed by the people. So the chief is appointed by the people. Only when the person died, then they can appoint another one. So as long as you are the chief, you have to remain in that position until you pass away before another one can be appointed.
And your dad was the chief.
My dad he wasn't the red chief, but a sub chief.
Okay.
Yeah, you see, when we come to like a mayor, we have the accountant, we have this. So people that are around the chief and working for the development of the town. So
Mhm.
my dad was a sub chief. So let's say, yeah, a sub chief. Yeah. And then the chieftaincy, they don't, they are the traditionalists. They are the traditionalists. They have their own gods that they believe in, as I told you. So in Ghana, if anybody is a chief, that person is a traditionalist. They don't worship Muhammad, or they don't worship God Almighty. They worship their own gods as per their belief. And we have different types of title and those things that they are doing. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I can tell you only my dad's side. And then when you come to my mother's side, for my mother's lineage, we also my uncle was also a chief in a town called Atibi. So also the same belief. By my mother's lineage, their chieftaincy was a little bit higher than my father's side.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if we go back to your dad, you mentioned that like everyone in the chieftaincy believes in traditionalism. Was your dad introduced to traditionalism as a child, or was it like something that came out of like ambition for wanting to work in the community or like serve the community?
Okay. So for my dad's side, what I know was he wasn't into this when he was a child. Um, he told me that he used to go to church, Presbyterian, right?
Mm,
And then she was the pianist. He played the piano at the church for the church at Presby in his hometown. So since I know him, yeah, he used to play the piano, but he didn't go to church as I was a child, as I was growing, until he retired, and then he went to his hometown at the age of let's say 68 to 70 years. That was when he was installed as a sub chief for the town.
but I mean, not that you have like all the information, but why do you think like your dad, even though he was introduced as a child into Christianity, he moved into traditionalism?
Yeah, actually, I don't know his reason, but uh, in Ghana, some people believe it's a prestigious position when you involve in those things, because they have the different name that they give it to you. They call you Nana and those things, and people see it as prestige, right?
Mm,
And then people see it as somebody who has a high position in the community. So, and then I think the family that he was also born into it, they do it by um, like a seniority. Like when my dad passed, when he was about to pass, he gave his position to his nephew to take over. So I believe it's something like a generational thing, like a family member have to represent the family, right? So I think that's why that made him do that. But I think he was also interested because since I was growing up, I didn't see him going to church. He
mm,
stays home until after he retired, and then he decided to take that position until he passed.
nice. So for your dad and a lot of people that are chiefs, sub-chiefs, and chieftaincies, they see like traditionalism as like an honorable position or like some sort of ambition that they can work towards in the community, is what you're saying.
Yes, yes, and then a lot of people have to fight for this position. Some have to pay a lot of money. Some have to go through a lot of stuff before you can be elected as a chief or become one of the sub chiefs. So they see it as a prestige to them. They fight for it. People fight for it. People die for it.
What do you mean by people die for it?
People go through to the extent of lose their life for that position because a lot of people are fighting, and then they don't fight it like physical fight that you see people are fighting. They do it in a spiritual way that maybe if you are not a strong person or if you don't have that spiritual do you understand what I'm talking about?
So they're using spirituality.
They're using spirituality to fight for the position.
Okay. Okay. So that's interesting. So there's another side of traditionalism where spirituality can be used for good and also for bad, is what you're saying.
Yes, yes, yes,
Can you
yes.
expand on that?
Spirituality can be used for bad things like when you talk about Christianity, we the Christians, our beliefs are totally different. To do good, to help one another, not to hurt your neighbor in those states, right? But the traditional aspect is it's a little bit different, but we believe the traditionalists, their way of worship is like it's like idol worship. You are worshiping idols, satanic way. That's how we believe. So the stuff and the things that they do is totally satanic way. You get what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's how I can put it. So it's not like really like that's the bad side of it. But the good side of it is like they also help to mobilize the city. Like for example, if something happened in the town, the chief is the main person that people go to for advice.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then when it comes to the development, now that things are changing, that they are using the mayoral system in Ghana, but before everything is on the chief. Even if the government wants to do like project, since the chief is the leader of the town, it will go to the chief. But now the system is changing a little bit to the mayoritarian system that the mayor have to involve in those things. But before it was the chief. So that is the good aspect. But the bad aspect is like a satanic worship.
Okay. Um, so I guess my question for you is growing up and seeing your dad kind of involved in traditionalism, did you view it as like a good thing or did you view it as like a negative?
I myself view it as negative because my values and my belief is totally from his. So I don't want to participate in any of those things. I didn't go closer to his stuff. I just stay away from those stuff.
Why do you think that was? Do you believe your mom's influence on you with like going to church had a role to play?
Yeah. As when I was growing, most of the case, most of the time closer to their mom more than their father, because most of the time the fathers are not home often to be with the kids. So whatever, your mom may have more influence on your life than your dad most of the time, but sometimes it doesn't. By my side, my mom has more influence in my life more than my dad. But as a child, I go to church with her. But going to church is totally different from knowing what you're doing and why you are going to church. So when I was a little, I just go to church with my mom. But as I was growing, I came to understand myself. Who am I? Why am I going to church? Why am I raising in a two different religion, traditionalist and Christianity? So I have to choose one. And learning about the traditionalists, the way they do their stuff, the way their belief, and knowing about Christianity, started reading the Bible and understanding the Bible also had an impact on me. So I chose to become a Christian because when I grew up, I think at the age of 18, I started to know the truth, which one will help me. And then I choose to be a Christian. So my mom had influence on me, but I, when I grew up to a certain stage, I choose which one I want to worship because I know the truth. I know what will benefit me. So that's me.
And did you have any negative experiences with either religion or any encounters with traditionalism or Christianity that changed your perspective as you were growing up?
Yes, because for the traditional the traditional aspect, um I think what I saw was it's totally contrary to the Christianity. Like traditional aspect, they can kill a cow, cow, right?
Hmm.
Or sheep or whatever. If somebody offended the chief or if anything like that, they can kill animal for sacrifice. But while in Christianity, if I offended somebody, I can go to the person and make amends, and I can ask God directly for forgiveness. And I see that Christianity, God has given me power as a human being to do whatever I want to do. And I see that as a human being, I have power over the gods because those gods that they are worshiping, they don't have ears, they don't have mouth, You as a woman being have power over that those gods. So why should I limit myself for something that I have power over it? So that makes the difference between traditional worship and then Christianity. So that's my point.
I see. So just to touch on that a little bit more, did you feel like Christianity offered you more freedom or more like self-confidence that like traditionalism was restricting you from?
Yes, 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 yes. Like the traditionalism is more strict, right? If you offended the gods that they are worshiping, they call something like if you offended the gods, they have something that they call empata, like to beg on your behalf. So they will go to the gods. Most of the time, their gods it's like a statue that they have built, and then they put that statue in the room, right? In the room that they are worshiping. So if you offended somebody or something like that, they will go and beg for on your behalf. So some will ask you to bring wine. Ghana we call it schnapp, and some will ask you to bring um hen. Some will ask you to bring goat. Some will ask you to bring sheep. Some will ask you to bring cow. So it depends upon how big the sin is. If the sin is a normal sin, maybe you have to go, they have to take maybe the schnapp, which is something like alcohol, alcoholic beverage or something to go and beg for you.
Mhm.
So if they take cow, then it means your sin is big. So you have to pay more. So that is the system.
Mm,
Yeah.
I see.
So that nothing is free. Everything is straight. Like if they tell you don't do this and you do, like they have something like they call something like uh, a dabone, which means that day is bad day, right?
Hmm.
So that bad day, if like they will instruct you not to do any work, not to go to farm or don't do any work, stay home. And if you did not obey and then you go, sometimes they believe something can happen to you. And some people also testify that they went or they did something and then they see the impact on them. I have not experienced that, so I don't know. But they believe something will happen to you, and some people also said they have experienced it. So I don't know how it is, but that is their belief, right? But Christianity, we don't have those things. We worship God every day. Okay.
Yeah, so you were mentioning how Christianity doesn't have these things.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, I realized that you mentioned like your mother's side, you have an uncle, yours, their dad. It seems very male focused, this chieftaincy. Do you believe like that as a woman, you've gravitated towards Christianity because it seemed like more accepting of like your gender?
No, so for the chieftaincy aspect, it's also they have the woman aspect there. So every chief has a woman behind behind him, but it's not like a wife.
Mhm.
So they have to elect a man and then a woman. So the man is a chief, and then the woman is also, they call it ohima, which means a female version of the man. So every time have their own. They have a woman's side and then the man's side. So it's two ways.
Okay, okay, okay. And also you mentioned how like you're sinning, and you'd have to like find a cow, find alcohol, find, these maybe expensive objects. Did you feel like it was exploitative? And maybe you can touch on like the finances of your family and your community and how like this system may have been detrimental to like families in the community.
Yeah. So for the traditionalist, when they are about to elect somebody, it costs a lot of money
Mhm.
to install somebody as a chief or as a ohima. So they have to go through a whole lot of process that can take about a month or more before they can, elect the person.
Mhm.
And then they don't dress like a normal way as we wear our street clothes and go our way. They have different different attire that they have to wear. And then if you're a woman, the woman aspect, you have to cut all your hair. You have to have very short hair and dye it dark all the time. And then the men, it's okay. But like Ghana, we wear a lot of kente and those things. So they dress totally different from the rest of the people.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it costs a lot, and some people also fight for the position. So it's very costly. Like Christianity, if you believe in God, the only thing that will cost you is your Bible.
Mhm. I see. All right. So that was very interesting conversation. I kind of want to tie it back into like your family and family traditions. So obviously you have a tradition of going to church with your mom, or your dad has his traditions with his religious practices. Do you still see some of these traditions in your family being carried today?
Yeah, both are carrying on today, as at now, but it's not my siblings, but my the other part.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's still going on. So when the other person pass on, they have to replace the person with another person within the family. So the family dynamic is not like your siblings, like your great mothers and those things. So in Ghana, we have a very our extended family is too long. It's not like our. It's not like the nuclear family. So the extended family is like about 10th generation or something like that. But we consider all of them as a family. So anybody within that lineage can be appointed or can fight for that position.
Okay. 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 And have like the traditions that you see in your family evolved from childhood to today? So you mentioned like now we have more of like mayor systems. Are there changes in culture that you see within your family and the way that traditions operate?
For my family culture,
Yes, and traditions.
uh, although my father was a traditionalist, but we celebrate like Christmas together, Easter together, and then uh, basically they are pretty much. We don't do much like different things like culture. But when you're talking about culture in Ghana, the culture we have a broad culture because the way we were brought up is totally different from the Western culture,
Mhm.
and our culture is totally broad because of the tribes that we have, and each tribe have their own values and their beliefs and their culture, the way we do our stuff. So although we are all from the same country, but when you see Ashanti people, you can differentiate Ashanti people from the northern part based on their culture, like the way they dress, the way they talk, and then the language. We have different types of language in the country. Although we are one country, but Ghana has a lot of languages, but there's really main language that about 95% of the population everybody speaks and then understand, right?
Yeah.
But we have different types of language and dialogue in the country. So the culture of Ghana is a broad thing that we can talk about, but it depends upon the tribe that you were born into, and then the region, like in this country we say the province, but Ghana we say region. Maybe we have Ashanti region, Eastern region, Brown Hartford region, Northern region, Western region, right? So
Yeah.
each region have their own culture and their own identity. So that's how the system works in Ghana.
Okay. Okay. And you mentioned like languages as part of like just Ghana's culture, and with you, you said you speak Tree and also English. As a child, what was your relationship with Tree as well as what was your relationship with English?
Okay, like the tree is the main language that about 95% of the population of Ghana
Hmm.
speak, right? Everybody understand the tree. Everybody understand can write and read in that language. But I am a can, but I can't speak Ga. If somebody is speaking Ga, I don't know. I don't hear a word because I wasn't born in a greater Accra region, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody may speak Ewe. I will not hear the Ewe language because I wasn't born in that region, so I don't know, and I'm not interested to learn. But the tree is the main language, but they haven't made it official language. But everybody speaks and understand it, right? That's what I mean. But when you go to school, we use both languages, the tree and then English. So you have to pass English entry
I
before you can graduate from high school. It's a must.
So what was your relationship with English as a child? And yeah.
My relationship with English, like um in Ghana, there's a perception like we study English, right? Like I'm more fluent in the tree because that's my mother tongue, and then English is as a second language, but you have to study and pass from before you can move to a tertiary institution. But there is a challenge in the English in Ghana because people think if we're able to speak English fluently, then it means you are smart. You're smart to speak English fluently, but English is just is a language. Like language is a language. That doesn't mean when I'm growing up and then I came to the Western world and I understand that it's a language. So if I speak Chi fluently and you are speaking your English fluently, that's your mother tongue. So you should be able to speak your English fluently because you were born in it as I was born into Chi.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't make you smart, or it doesn't, if you can speak it fluently, that doesn't make you less because you are not born into it. But the perception in Ghana is like if you're able to speak English, you speak English well, then you are smart. But when I came in here, then I noticed that a lot of people speaking English over there doesn't they are not smart as we were thinking. In fact, it's just a language. So if you speak the language and then you don't do the smart thing, then it doesn't mean anything. So that's how it was. And then if I remember when we go to school and then if you can't speak proper English, people think you're dumb.
Oh,
And sometimes, if you can't speak English, you can't speak. They don't allow you to speak tree in school. So can you imagine? You don't know how to speak You can't speak the English properly. So it could be the whole day. You may sit in the class and then you can't talk, which is unfair, especially those people who were born into the community or into the uh, deprived cities
yeah.
because those people speak mostly in their language. And if your parents are not educated, right,
Hmm.
and you didn't go to good school, some of the schools are very good that they speak more they speak English better. But those people who went to government school, most of the time we speak our own languages, right?
Right.
So yeah, so sometimes it's challenging to, I mean, mingle yourself with people who have the privilege to start English from their infancy than those people who are trying to learn and understand. But so it's a problem even up to now. But now, majority of Ghanaians, the youth,
Yeah.
they made the English as their first language. I'm not gonna say it's good because I don't see any language is better than other language because it's your mother tongue, right? So that's how the system is working. But they make the English become like something, the language become like something that is more important, which is I don't say it's more important. Like I remember our former president Nana Akufo-Addo, the one who just left 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
He has the accent, he has the command in English. And then people voted for him because he speak good. So they think that the guy is smart.
Mhm.
And people voted for him because of his accent. So this is kind of perception in the country about the English language. But in averagely, a lot of people understand the English language. So, but the accent is totally different.
How was your experience learning English? Did you learn it from infancy, or was it something that you, I guess, had challenges with as you were growing up?
I do have challenges. Even now, I still have challenges. I'm not lying, but I'm trying my best. But the fact is, because I wasn't born into the privilege, uh, those people who have the privilege to born in city with rich family that they send them to private school, that the English must be compulsory, right?
Yeah,
So they become more fluent than those people who went to government school, that we speak our own dialect, our own language.
yeah,
So it's not like something that is easy, but we try.
I see. So, can you expand more on like the difference between government schools and that system versus private schools?
Okay, the private schools are more like they have, okay, so in Ghana, from from kindergarten up to elementary school, right? We have government school and then the private school. The private school, you pay it by yourself. The parents will pay the fees and everything.
Mhm.
But the government school is free. So the private schools pay much more attention on the language, in the English language.
Yeah,
It's compulsory to speak English in the school. While the public school, it's not compulsory to speak English. You may speak English or you speak our local language.
okay.
So it makes the people who have the privilege to go to the private school become more fluent in the English than those of us who went to the government school.
I see. I see.
And then from high school is a standardized system. That one the guy is more like government school, right?
Yeah,
Because most of the private school cannot afford to build the high school. So most of all the high school, I can say about 95% are the government school. So so when you go to the high school, it's mixed with those who are able to speak their English and who have the fluent to speak the English, and those who don't have the command in English. We all mix together.
okay. Okay. And what was that? Maybe touch on the experiences in general when you were in school, whether that was in government school and then as you moved into high school.
For me, I was in a public school. I was in public school for I was in public school for most of my time, and then I went to the private school for a couple of years. But I came back to public school because there was a problem in my family between I have to go through that, tell you this.
Yeah.
My my parents divorced. So when my parents divorced, I was young. At that time I was around let's say 10 years. And I and my younger sibling, we were young, right? The other siblings were grown up.
Mhm.
So we live with my dad. At that time, my dad was in Ghana we call it headmaster. So over here we will say that he's a principal at a high school. So we stay with him. And then the city that we were living was it was a small city, so we didn't have the private school, so it was public school. And then I think a couple of years, about 2 years later after the divorce, we went to stay with my mom. At that time, she also moved to a big city, so there was a private school, right? So we went there. I and my younger brother, we went there to stay with her. And then we did transfer my dad to another city, and then we went back to my dad's to that place, and then we started the government school. So um, that's what happened.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. So it's back and forth.
Back and forth. I didn't
Hmm.
know you were a child of divorce until now.
Yeah, I was a child of divorce, and then it did affect me. It has um a lot of negative impact on me because I quite remember when I was 13 years or 13 years when we moved to stay with my dad. My dad was living alone, so it's me and my younger brother. So I became a mother by force. Either
Mm.
I like it or not, 13 years. So I have to take care of my sibling and my dad. So at the age of 13 years, I do everything in the house. Cooking, taking care of my dad, taking care of my younger brother, at the same time going to school. And then so my childhood, my youthful age, I didn't experience anything, any joy as a child, right? Because of the divorce that my parents went through. So I didn't experience it in a what do you call it, in a happy way because I have to step in as a mother, which I'm not a mother,
Yeah.
to do all these things. So it did affect me in a way. So um my studies and then my dream started, and it came to a point I didn't know, like, you feel different, you feel isolated, you feel like you don't belong here, you don't belong here, and uh, a lot of things were going on. So that's how it affected me mostly. Affected me. I went through a lot, and then yeah. So that's how it is. because the time that you have to spend to study, you have to come home, you have to cook, you have to do this, you have to do this, and then the environmental issue also affected me because where they transferred my dad to when I was 13 years, it's like a totally isolated area, only the school and then the masters. In Ghana, we have masters bungalow and the government provide you the accommodation.
Hmm.
So the school is a very isolated area. So it's like you don't have much people to isolate yourself with because at that time I was young. I wasn't in a secondary school like a high school. I have to walk a couple about 2 or 3 miles before I go to school, elementary school. So life wasn't really, what should I put, really cozy as I was growing up because of that divorce experience that my parents put us through. But I think I was the among the six siblings. I'm the only person who experienced it more because the other four were grown up.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I did experience it more. So that's me. And when my dad get married, this stepmom is no. So it's tough situation for stepmom to step in and all those kind of. It's not present for anybody to experience this divorce thing. It does affect the case a lot. So that's my story.
Yeah, I did. That's a lot. Um, I wonder if like the parentification as like a child,
Mm-hmm.
um, how much of it had to do with like gender roles and also like socially how people react to divorce in your family as well as just in your community.
Um, Gender roles. Africa, when it comes to gender, right? There's a big issue. A big issue if you were born as a female, because in Ghana, not in Ghana alone, most of the Africa, I can say Africa. Let me use Africa because since I came to Canada, I mingle myself with a lot of Africa people, and then we are all saying the same thing. So the gender role is quite challenging when you are born as a female. First of all, like Ghana, when you were born as a male child, oh, they said, oh, he has given birth to a human being. And when you were born as a female, they said you are giving birth to a helper. So do you understand the difference? A human being and a helper. So they always underestimate women. In Ghana before, they would take the male child to school and then the woman the female child no education because some of the men think being a woman, your job is to take care of the family, so there's no need for your parents to waste much money on you to send you to school. So so it was about let's say 40 years coming that a lot of things have changed, that a female education has increased by from people from 60 and above. Majority of the female didn't go to school.
Okay.
Majority of the females didn't go to school because of the perception they have for the female. And most of the time the male they are free. They do whatever they like. But if you're female, it's like the society pull you down.
Yeah,
You can't do this because you're female. You can't say this because you're female. You have to dress like this because you're female. You have to be like this because you're female. So it was challenging, but now I can say a lot of girls are being educated. So it's something, and even though you are educated and you're still underrated as a female, but it's far better, far better.
I see. I see.
And
So, I mean, it was a lot for you. You had to take care of your younger brother, cook, clean, everything, and do work, and your dreams were put on the back burner. Was there an expectation that you prioritize household duties or studies, or was it an expectation that everything you did you have to excel at?
okay. I remember my side. I was lucky. Both parents were educated, right?
Yeah.
So education is a must that you have to have because all my four brothers, we are four brothers and two two girls, right?
Hmm.
All the four of them have a higher education. They all three had their masters, and then the other one had yeah, that one too is a master. So four of them have their master degrees. So education is a must in the family that you have to. But I didn't have that divorce affected me emotionally, psychologically, and everything. Because the time that I have to, when you have both parents with you, you can express yourself freely. But now you go to your mom. Your mom has remarried. You come to your dad. Your dad has also remarried. So you don't feel like when you go to your mom, you feel different. It's not your dad. When you come to your dad, it's not your mom. So you are in between. Sometimes you don't know where to go, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of, I don't know how to explain it. Y- You don't have that childhood that you're supposed to have. And it does affect you in a lot of ways, emotionally, psychologically, everything. So that's my experience. So but my family, nobody underrate me like I'm a girl, so I shouldn't go to school or anything like that, or they trying to prevent me from my achievement. But I didn't have the anybody to it was my mom who was trying to motivate me, but I didn't get that childhood upbringing that I'm supposed to get to have that confidence to go high. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it is. But nobody underestimate me. No. Nobody underestimate me.
Okay, I see. Um, so when you were in school, I'm wondering like what were your what was your experience actually like studying in school? Did you have interest, your relationship with learning, maybe like influential teachers or teachers that did damage? How did that look like for you in your childhood?
Um, for my childhood, I did not have I did not have anybody that motivates me to to do more, except my mom, because most of African dias, their relationship with their kids are totally different. They don't have much relationship with their kids. So my although I was living with my dad, but we were not close. Like somebody that I can go to him and talk to him about my problems and those things.
Yeah.
It wasn't there. You get it? And when I came to my mom's side, I was okay, but still, you did not stay with her for long, right? It's back and forth. So when you come here, you feel like you don't belong here, you don't belong here. So it's like yourself. You get what I mean? So that's how my childhood was.
So, um, when you were in school,
Mm-hmm.
what types of things were you interested in? Like, tell me that experience.
Okay, so when I was in school, uh, I was interested. I wasn't somebody who was athletic or anything like that. Just a normal student.
Hmm.
Just study and get my pass and go my way. I wasn't like somebody who was academically high or anything like that. Average.
And do you think that was just because of like the pressures that you had at home, where you're just like,
Yeah, because it's part of it. Because 13 years stepping as a mother.
yeah.
Cooking is not like you just cook. You have to do the grocery. You have to in Ghana. You have to go and fetch water and those things, cleaning, washing. So what time do I have to? I mean, study. You get it?
Hmm.
Yeah. So that affect me a lot.
So just to go back, you mentioned obviously like all these pressures that you had, it kind of like forced you to be academically average. Did you have any other um reasons or like obstacles that were in your way to maybe become more academically excellent or maybe like strive more for your dreams?
Yeah, what I was um what that I was looking for is to get a education that will sustain me in my life, but not I wanted to go high, but I couldn't because my I didn't get a foundation, right? So I was in training college when I was in Ghana, and then I finished the training college to become a teacher, like a elementary teacher, right?
Mhm.
And then I came in here. So when I came in here, life wasn't in a cozy way. So I ended up doing the nursing so that at least I will get a professional job to move my life with. So
Okay.
basically, that's it.
Was becoming a teacher um after you've graduated from training college something that was encouraged or just expected given that you come from a family of teachers, or was this like a choice you made independently?
Um, it was a choice I can say I made independently, but it was only choice that was also available for me. I didn't have much to choose from, right? Because my grades, I couldn't go to university, so either I have to be in teacher training or to go to nursing in Ghana. But training was easiest way for me to get just to get something to hold on to that I can use it for my life. So I chose to go to the teacher training. And I guess it could be also that because both parents were teachers and some of the siblings were also teachers. So maybe it's something that is in the family to teach. But I didn't think of it like because of the parents and some of the siblings were teaching, right? But I just get the admission to the teacher training and then I went. But it didn't occur to me because of the family tree. But it just now that I found out that maybe it's family tree that I was follow, but indirectly I didn't think of it.
I see. It was just like an option that seemed the best at the time.
And that's the option that seemed the best at the time.
Right, right, right. So as you're going through this, I'm wondering, based off of like having a family of teachers, what does teaching represent in your family? Like, what does it symbolize? Is it a status symbol? Is it like something that's prestigious? Or do you see it as, or do people see it as a calling in your family? What did teaching look like?
Okay. And being a teacher, yeah, so I can say it's a calling, and at the same time a choice, but it's a noble profession though. But I don't know if it's a calling or it's a choice. But for my family side, it's a family tree that I can see. Even the extended family, we have a lot of teachers. some aunties and grandparents, teachers. So it's in the family. But as in Ghana, uh, I don't know. I don't want to say like the way they call teachers. They give different types of names. Like they know it's a noble profession, but they feel that they don't pay them well, like to become rich. But it's a respected profession in the community. Yeah.
So it's kind of similar to like Canada. They're not paid like well, but people respect the work that they do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So coming from two parents that were teachers and obviously like a family of teaching, um, do you think that they view teaching as something that was connected to responsibility or like service, something that wasn't just a job for them?
No, because my dad was very good teacher, and my dad during his my dad passed away at the age of 95, right? During his age, if we are able to go to university at that time, it means you're academically good, right?
Mm.
Yeah, at that time, education, going to university is for the intellectuals. So for him to become principal in high school, which means the society, I mean, respected him. Yeah. Come again with the question. I think I didn't get the question well.
It was like, do you think teaching is connected to responsibility and service in your
Yeah, yeah. Responsibility and service. Yeah, but the teachers are really responsible. Well, like my dad's side, he was a good teacher, a good principal, and my mommy too.
Mm. And I guess it's interesting that you became a nurse ultimately. Do you see like that connection through like your family lineage of teaching and how that could like connect to you choosing to become a nurse?
Oh yeah, but when I came in here, that is the only available thing I can do. Another available thing I can do because I find myself that I can't teach here. Because if I wanted to be a teacher, I have to go to long education, right? And secondly, the way accent is also another problem with this case. And then looking at my cultural background, the way Africa we teach, and the way Africa kids respected adult more, right? Especially teachers and those things. We respected our elders and those things. While looking at Canadian system, I found out that the teaching wouldn't be a place for me.
Mm. Did you?
It wouldn't be a place for me because maybe I will scream at a child, which I am African. Screaming at a child is normal way of discipline, but discipline a child. But in Canada, maybe you have to be always tone your voice, but those things maybe it won't work for me. So I have to think about what will work better for me. That's what I choose the nursing profession, which I'm glad I did. I love it. I love it. I want to help people. So it's kind of similar way, but this one is dealing with sick people, and the teaching is dealing with young people. So just working with young people who are growing up.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So yeah, you kind of touched on like a certain point about like how teaching is different in Canada versus Ghana per se. Can you expand on some of the differences in how teaching is operated in Ghana?
okay. So in Ghana, first thing is we don't joke with the word respect. Eh? Everybody want to be respected, but most of the time, respect respect is earn. You earn some. You it's not something that you force to get, right? It's reciprocal, but in Ghana, for instance, people demand a respect which they don't supposed to, but here you have to earn it. So Ghana teachers are being they use that power to abuse the students sometimes. Like when you go to school late, they will cane you. When you go to class and you're not prepared, they cane you. When sometimes even if you don't iron your clothes, they cane you. So these are some of the things. But when you come to Canada, it's totally different approach. So like here is like both teacher and then the student have to have like what should I put it? Um the teacher is there for the kids, and the kids are also there for the teacher. But in Ghana, they use more. The teachers use more of their power to in a form of abusing the student.
Mm.
Yeah,
Why do you think that is?
I think it's also based on the culture. It's based on the culture aspect, because a lot of people and for respect. Like when you are with your sibling, the older one want the younger one to respect. I am the oldest. You have to respect me, whatever I say. When you go to church, the demand for respect is there. When you go to job, demand for respect is there. So it's like everywhere you go, there's tension. People are uh, yearning for that kind of respect.
Mhm.
So people use their power to abuse others.
So people are always trying to find a hierarchy, find the leader and find someone that will.
Yeah, because I said leader. If you're leading if you're leading somebody, either in a family or community or at work, I think what I notice, compare Africa to Western, the difference is we lack leadership. We lack leadership quality. Here in Western world, what makes Western world is the leadership. It's not it's not much from Africa. But Africa, we always want to we use the leadership qualities. We use the leadership when you are in a lead when you are leading something. We use it in a form of abusing others. So wherever you go, people use their power to abuse others. That's what I noticed in Africa. But here, the system is working. Everybody knows what they are right, and then the leaders have that quality to serve, quality to give, quality to teach. But Africa is not like that. So it started from home to
Mhm.
the community to the even to the government level. That's why we the Africans we are suffering. It's not that we don't have the natural resources or the amenities, but we don't have the leadership qualities as a leader that you need to serve your people. You need to, I mean, work hard for the people, right? But it's like they grabbing the power for themselves to punish others. So that thing is started from everywhere, and then in schools, it's there. Like when you go to secondary school, like the first year, when you go, the way they will beat you, the way they will treat you, it's like you are not a human being. So it's something that is from generation to generation. That's what we are experiencing, and when you come here, it's totally different. So that's what I can say.
I see what your point is. Like in families, it's like the older sibling is bullying the younger sibling, or the mom
Yes.
is taking power against like the younger people
Mm-hmm.
on into school, and it's like the older grades are
Mm-hmm.
bullying younger grades.
Mm-hmm.
To like every level of like whatever society, and it seems like someone is always trying to like impose their power rather than
Impose the power on you, yeah,
their.
and to the highest level in a politics.
Mm.
So that's how I see it. But here, it's not. It's different. The leadership qualities are totally different.
Do you think that Ghana was always like this? Like, if we think of the history of Ghana, way even before like colonization, obviously this is a hypothetical. Do you think like Ghana always had this reputation or this culture where uh power is always being abused? And do you think it's changing now?
Now it's still there, but now things are changing a little bit because of a lot the no Ghana, a lot of people are educated, and a lot of people have been travel to the Western world that we are learning, and then this social media aspect has also, I mean, open a lot of ways for people also to learn from other countries. And then if there's any abuse or anything like that, it comes on the social media. So people are trying to, I mean, do the right thing. So
Mm.
now it's getting better. It's not like before, because like if you're a professor or if you're a teacher or something and you're doing something bad, they can record you and put it on social media, right?
Yeah.
And then you can get fired or punished for that. So it's getting far better when you compare now to before, like our time when you go to school. I quite remember when I was in grade two, I was beat up by one female teacher. I will never forget her name. Her name was Margaret. This woman beat. grade two student, this woman can beat us the whole day and crying, beat us with cane. So she beat me one day that and I fell sick and I was in hospital and my mother was so upset. When you go to school, you cry like you don't want to even go to school. The way this woman will beat you like you are her enemy. Canes. So that kind of fear, intimidation, and those things they put it on you, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it become part of you. So it's something that they are changing because I think about 20 years ago, the president, this president came to abolish it in schools. Kufuor, John Ajakun Kufuor, when he came to power, he abolished beating case in school, and that reduced those amount of canes that they will cane you in school. So for that time coming, things are changing. Things are changing. But now, Hannah said, the students now are they have more freedom. It's not like our time that the beatings were too much. But now it's yeah, they are okay now. They are okay now. So now they are working. They are working now, even if in the government aspect, in the managerial system, things are coming down because of education. Because now in Ghana, about about 80% of the population are well educated. So things are really changed now. So it's really good. It's very good now. But before the abuse was too much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You mentioned like now we have social media that can hold somebody accountable for.
Yeah, now the social media is holding a lot of people accountable. So they are very vigilant, and everybody is trying to do the right thing.
Mm.
Yeah. And
So,
now because of the social media and then the education system, so even if the government implement things, everybody knows, right? People knows how to read. People understand what is going on, so they will hold you accountable. So it's not like before. Yeah.
so now that like we have some level of accountability with like education, globalization, and social media, what type of accountability were there for like students, example, like your mom maybe being angry and upset at your second grade teacher? What other like forms of accountability existed for you and your siblings and the people around you to ensure that like somebody was at least fighting for you? Did that exist at all?
For now,
Back in your time.
no. Back in my time, no. No, nobody is accountable for anything. But now the accountability is there because of social media. When the person take it to social media, everybody come along.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So how did they justify, for example, like beating a child until they got sick without that accountability, if that makes sense? What would they say?
They don't say anything because you have to report it to the head teacher. And what the head teacher gonna do? Nothing. So it was tough. It was really tough. So nobody can abuse you for nothing and score free. And then even if your parents or somebody stand up, one thing about our system is they can go to the chief and report the situation, right? So the chief will call both sides, and then you meet at the palace, and then you discuss it and solve the problem. And then in Ghana, even before, if somebody need to be, I mean, apprehended but by the police, if the person has money, they can pay bribe to the police, and then the case become foolish case. If you don't have money, you don't have case sometimes. And then our system is like community based. So you're living in a community that you knows everybody. Everybody also knows you.
Mm.
So they can settle most of the dispute at home among ourselves. Yeah. So that's how the system works.
You mentioned community-based. Was it a common practice that situations would be brought to the community, or like that situations would have to be handled with like family members? How did that dynamic work in a community?
The dynamic work can be handled within the family, family to family. Like if like I offended you and you're from different family, right? Like my friend, like my son offended my friend's son, or they fight. The two families can come together, and then solve the problem.
Mm.
And if it's like something that is a little bit high, they can go to the chief. Chief, as I mentioned, is like a mayor of the town.
Mm.
Sometimes to the church, the pastors. So we sit down and then we, talk about the problem and solve the problem. So it depends where the person will take it to.
I noticed you mentioned they don't take it to the police. Is there?
Like a police is when it comes to the like a criminal aspect, then it's the police, like stealing and a criminal aspect like killing and those things. That one goes to the police. But if it's a mano issue like argument and those stuff, mostly it's the family settle or community or the chief. So it depends.
Okay. 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 Well, obviously, like we can talk a lot more about like different things, but I think we can stay here. And I kind of wanted to ask, like, did certain traditions from your family become more important or less important after you migrated to Canada?
Mm. Nothing that I know of. No,
Mm.
stays the same. My belief in my belief, and then I don't. No, nothing has changed. Nothing. Nothing has changed.
When you think of like your values, the way you're brought up and the way you want to like live your life or bring up your kids, what did you take with you? Like, I'm moving to Canada, but I feel this is important for me to preserve or to maintain.
Oh, okay. So I don't want my kids to go through what I went through, like divorce thing that I was saying. I want my kids to experience have both parents in their life. I want to raise them in Christianity way, but I also give them a choice to make their own decisions that will work better for them, because you cannot impose much of your ideas on him, because they are growing up. They have their own their own life, their own perspective. So as a parent, you have to guide and then teach them to do the right way. Guide them, let them do it, and then if they are mixing the way, then you direct them to come to the right path. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And what do you think are like some of like those values and beliefs that you think are harder to maintain in Canada when you're talking about raising your kids or just living the life that you want to live?
mm, I didn't have any problem with my kids. Like they are okay. They are good kids. They listen. So uh, for here and Ghana, I think we were able to mix the two together, Canadian way and Ghana way, but more on Canadian side. So uh, we are good. I don't see much difference.
Mm.
Yeah.
How do you make that determination? Like what to teach your kids from like the Canadian culture versus what to teach your kids from the Ghanaian culture?
Mm, like Ghanaian culture. I think I did. I didn't. Honestly, I don't know how much. I didn't put too much in Ghanaian culture, and I didn't put too much Canadian culture. I raising my kids based on what I believe, what I think is good for them, and it's good for my family values, my belief.
Mm, mhm, mhm,
That's what we are doing.
mhm,
It's not the Canadian culture. It's not the Ghanaian culture. It's my values and then my husband's values. What will work good for the family. So that's what we are doing. But there are certain things you can. I mean, your child is born in Canada. Your child is born in Canada. There's a certain principles in Canadian system that need to be followed. Yes, you have to follow. But if the system is not, going to help my value as a mother, as a Christian, then I will not also, put my child there. You have to sit with the child and then let them know what is right and what is wrong.
mhm.
It's not Canadian. It's not Ghanaian. It's the family value and belief. Mhm.
My next question is who takes responsibility for keeping values and culture alive in the family? Like when you look back at your personal immediate family, who do you think was the most significant factor in keeping like your values going?
For my side, it was my mother.
Your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you think that your mom being the person that kind of influenced you in that way has like anything to do with society? Obviously, you mentioned you spend more time with your mother, you're closer to your mother. Are there any other reasons why like your mom would be the person to drive, culture in you?
Yeah, culture is the way of life. So culture, the way you're leading your life, everything that you're doing is part of culture, right? The way you see things, the way you making your life is your culture. So in Ghana, for instance, the family dynamic is also based on the culture, how we were raised by the family, by the community. Our system of raising kids or developing is mostly by the community,
Mm.
your parents and the community. If you do something wrong, anybody in the community can come in and tell you what you're doing is wrong, or can come and correct you. If you see any adult on the street, you give that respect that you're giving to your mom, to that person also.
So do you
Your community, even if you don't have food, they can give you food, they can clothe you, they can do everything for you. So we have a strong community in Ghana.
I see.
Somebody can beat you if you're misbehaving, and then will come and tell your parent your child was doing this and I beat him or her for you. And your mom or your dad tell you thank you for doing that. So everybody cares.
That's that's interesting. So do you think like if the community is all working together to raise each other's kids, to
Yeah.
each
Mm-hmm.
other, all these things, does it mean that like not everybody, but there's a continuity, like everybody has the same basis of values and beliefs in that community?
No, you can't say everybody has the same, but it depends. No matter what the community is doing, but your nucleus family is where you're gonna grow up most of your time, right? So the impact that you have from your parents, that's where you're taking it to the community, either it's good or bad. So if you don't have that good parents at home, obviously the community will see you as a bad person, right? If you have good influence at home, the community also see you as a good person. So no matter what the community will help, it's what you are taking from home to outside. That will determine. Mhm.
I see. Well, we're running out of time, but I'm wondering, last question, is there anything you worry might be lost in my generation? Like, yeah, me and my siblings, our generation that, your generation had.
Mm. So, like generation in terms of the whole world, or from your family generation.
Like our lineage, our family lineage, my generation versus yours.
I don't think much about